In the summer of 1997, Princess Diana had finally found some peace and quiet. This was the summer before her tragic death, and Diana was spending the time touring the Mediterranean on the yacht Jonical. Despite the amenities on the 200-foot vessel, she instead preferred to spend her time sunbathing, or just swimming around. A yacht can only go unnoticed for so long, and eventually the paparazzi reappeared. Of the many pictures they took, the one that might best capture the loneliness she was feeling was one of her sitting at the edge of the yacht's diving board, surrounded only by the deep blue of the ocean. This photo must have captured a universal feeling, and it resurfaced 25 years later, inspiring the cover of SZA's second album, SOS. SZA's second project comes 5 years after her debut album, Control. 5 years full of uncertainty and false promises around the release date. But once the album finally did come out, it had incredible success. The breakout single proved to be the Tarantino referencing Kill Bill. This track was produced by two people. The first is Rob Bicel, a recording engineer with credits all over the SZA project. The other producer, and the person we're interested in here, is Carter Lang, the longtime SZA collaborator behind some of her biggest hits. I looked through Lang's previous work with SZA and a few other artists to see how those songs compared to this new single from SOS. So let me show you what I found as we listen to SZA's Kill Bill. The scene opens on Zoe Kravitz. She's sitting in the passenger seat with SZA at the wheel. The two are in a Ford Focus, recording the opening of their Ford Focus commercial titled In Focus. Not only did this ad preview Ford's latest 2016 compact lineup, but it also previewed a new single from SZA in the background music. It wasn't until nearly a year later that the song would come out as the lead single for SZA's debut album, Control. This is Drew Barrymore. It was made by Carter Lang and another producer, Scum. Drew Barrymore was the first SZA track to be produced by Carter Lang, and here's what the bass line in the track sounds like. The bass guitar here does a bit more than hold out some root notes. Not only does it play in a sort of harmony with the melody, but some of the notes have distinct slides added between them. It sounds a bit stilted in this computer recreation of the part, but would be straightforward to pull off on live bass guitar. I have no idea if Carter Lang played this bass line in Drew Barrymore, but some pretty similar stuff shows up in another hit later in SZA's career. This is the opening of Kill Bill, and a few seconds later, SZA starts her first verse alongside some drums and bass.
I'm still a fan even though it's salty. Hate to see you with some other, but know you happy. Hate to see you happy if I'm not the one driving. I'm so mature.
While Carter Lang has a production credit on this track, I'm not sure if he's the one responsible for the bass here, but I do think there are some striking similarities between Drew Barrymore and this bass line. Not only does this track have the same bass instrument sound as Drew Barrymore, but both tracks also see the bass adding slides between notes. Here in Kill Bill, those slides are a bit rarer, appearing mostly at the beginning and ends of phrases, serving as some kind of accent. When Lil Nas X released his debut album Montero, nearly the entire project was produced by the duo Take a Day Trip. The two producers had met at NYU and gained Lil Nas X's trust by producing his hit Panini, following his breakout single Old Town Road. Despite this close relationship, Lil Nas X still reached out to a few other producers for a few of the deep cuts on his album, producers like Carter Lang.
Tell me what you know.
This is the track Void, off of Lil Nas X's album Montero, with the instrumental produced by Drew Slinger and, again, Carter Lang. The main thing filling up most of the song here is this guitar melody. The electric guitar here has a bit of a chorus effect to give it that wobbling sound, and it seems to be playing 4 different groups of notes, but not playing them as chords. Instead, the guitar cycles up through each note, playing them individually to make the primary melody in the instrumental.
Tell me what you know. Now before I go.
This style of guitar playing shows up again in another track produced by Carter Lang, this time with SZA.
I might kill my ex, not the best idea. His new girlfriend's next, how I get here.
Here in the chorus of Kill Bill, a guitar shows up in the instrumental and takes center stage of the melody. The guitar here plays in a pattern I think similar to Lil Nas X's Void. It follows those same 3-note groups, although here with even less variation, since 3 of those 4 groups have the same highest note of C. Omar Apollo had come a long way from working at Jimmy John's and Guitar Center. He had released a series of increasingly popular EPs and mixtapes, and in 2022, the Spanish R&B artist was ready for his debut album. Leading up to the release, he appeared on The Tonight Show for the 2nd time. He had already performed the album's lead single, so this time he instead performed the 4th single.
That's why you're killing me. That's why you're killing me.
This is Killing Me by Omar Apollo, off of his debut album Ivory, produced in part by Carter Lang. I think there are some similarities to Kill Bill here, especially in the drums. Not only do they both have nearly the same BPM at around 84 beats per minute, but the samples used in the drums seem pretty close as well. The samples used in these drums have the sounds of live instruments, things like a snare drum, a hi-hat, or a tambourine. This gives the impression that the drums were recorded live while someone played them, but I think that idea is betrayed by the kick. At the end of this drum loop, the kick plays this series of hits. Where else could you put so many kicks together but on a computer? While these drums have the open and airy sounds of a kit, I think their repeated precision gives feelings of drums that were programmed in. After Carter Lang's work on this Omar Apollo track, some of these same drum sounds appeared on his work with SZA's Kill Bill, although there it's a little bit harder to tell where the drums came from.
I'm still a fan even though it's salty. Hate to see you with some other, but know you happy. Hate to see you happy if I'm not the one driving. I'm so mature.
The opening verse of Kill Bill gives a clear look at the drums in the track. They were added by Carter Lang after the other producer, Rob Bissell, sent over that synthy flute melody you can hear alongside. The drums here seem to be a collection of live sounds at around 89 beats per minute. These drums share that boom bap sound with Omar Apollo's Killing Me. Both have live sounding snares and hi-hats, and also put that snare on beat 3. I think the drums here though sound closer to a live recording. I can't make out any hits that are too close together, and in between the snares are some quieter ones, added in a way similar to a drummer filling in. The drums here could still be set up on a computer. After all, that is what I did to remake this part. But what I can hear in these drums doesn't instantly remove the idea that there might be a live drummer on this track. Those are some of the sounds used in different tracks, all produced by Carter Lang, and how they compared to his work on the hit single, Kill Bill. To recap, I took these instruments, along with how they were used, and put them together in a new beat, starting with the bass line. Like in SZA's Drew Barrymore, it has some slides that I tried to keep at the starts of the phrases. I also tried to match the sorts of rhythms used in Kill Bill to make for a catchy enough harmony alongside the lead guitar. This is the melody of the new instrumental, made from an electric guitar playing 3-note ascending arpeggios like Lil Nas X's Void. I kept the highest notes the same between a few of these groups, similar to how it was in Kill Bill, while the lowest note moves down to give a sense of motion to the whole thing. Finally are the drums. Like Omar Apollo's Killing Me, there's a collection of drum samples that sound like live instruments. And to try and further that drum kit sound, I threw in a handful of quieter snare hits around the loop. To finish off this instrumental, we can throw in some lyrics from SZA.
I get the sense that it's a lost cause. I get the sense that you might really love her. This text gonna be evidence. This text is evidence. I try to ration with you, no murder's a crime of passion, but damn.
That wraps up this new beat using the ideas from SZA's Kill Bill, and some other tracks produced by Carter Lang. The bass and guitar may sound a bit stiff and computerized, but overall I think it captures some of the sounds in the single that appear in those other tracks produced by Lang. Maybe you can use these ideas in your own music, or just listen to this track a little differently. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of SZA's SOS and how it compares to Control. Don't forget to subscribe to Sound Selection on YouTube, check out the podcast, and follow on Instagram.